when we started up very early on, and we started doing our first demo tapes, obviously, of course we wanted to have our a very original sound, as original as you can be. But on the other hand, we didn't have like 9 million different guitar amplifiers that we could choose from. So we literally took what we had, and of course we said to each other, we want to have as much of a brutal or aggressive sound as we possibly can do. And the inspiration that we came from, obviously bands like Celtic Frost and Venom and Motorhead, stuff like that. That's stuff that we thought about, but of course if you play death metal, you want to sound a little bit different. But I would say, way back then in the early 90s or late, 89 is when we formed and started making music. We just took what we had. We couldn't really define it more than that. We just wanted to have a very aggressive sound, and of course as heavy as possible. But if you tune down like 5 half notes, then of course it's gonna sound heavier just because of that, regardless of which amplifiers or guitars you use. So I guess that's pretty much how it started. Well, first of all, I of course we were when we started writing lyrics and music, our focus was a few different topics, but of course the Viking type theme has always been with us ever since the day one. Today we actually played Into Glory Ride, which is the first song, one of the first songs we ever made, and it's got a Viking theme to it. To be honest, as the years go by, and we kept this, we just kept developing it, and it's obviously, to us, it's not really a fantasy style thing. It's more of a way of life. Now, I don't mind at all that there are other bands that develop their styles. I mean, I think it just proves that there's something to it. There's something important there, and that there's something that touches people. If we were the only band that did that, there would be nobody else, and then would probably be pretty strange to be like the one and only band after like 35 years still going with the Viking thing. So I actually look upon all the other bands that do their stuff with some pride. I mean, I think it's good. It's really nice to see other bands that have their own styles and they make their own ways of the Viking tradition, and I think that's cool. That's really nice to see. Well, I would say the whole death metal movement ever since '89 up to now, obviously it's been many different phases. It's not the exact same now as it was in '89. I think first and foremost there are many different branches now. When we started up, we never called it old school death metal because it was just death metal. Now people would say that if you're started in '89, '90, then you play old school death metal, and like I never even thought about it. We're just a death metal band. It's always been like that. So and now there are like melodic death metal. There are many ways of playing death metal, and I think again that's like it's just a natural development, and it would be, again, I think it would be very strange if it was just, if every band sounded like Autopsy or Death or Unleashed or Morbid Angel. It would be strange. There will have to be different variations of the same, and I think that's good. It's just a development, and I think it's cool. Yeah, that would be my answer. For sure, memorable music that is easy to listen to when it comes to, let's say, the classical structure of songs is my preferable way. That's what I like the most. And it doesn't really matter if it's thrash metal, black metal, heavy metal, or death metal, or like rock and roll even, or blues, or whatever I listen to. I really enjoy songs. If it's too much of a riff collection and extremely technical, I kind of lose my way. And it's not that I don't understand it, it's just that it's not it doesn't do much for me. You know, I really enjoy if you can remember the choruses when you go to work, or when you go to you know, if you sit in your car and blast a new album with a good band, then I really enjoy if the songs are memorable, because you can lose yourself in the music and the lyrics. And if it's too technical for me, then I will have to really listen to the perfection. And there's beauty in that. I absolutely understand that. It's just, maybe it's just not my cup of tea. So that's what we've done in Unleashed for all these years. We have really focused on making songs that you can remember. So the structures of the songs are very classical in a way, because if you put up a Motorhead song or a Judas Priest song from the 80s, they go like verse, chorus, there's a mid-play of some sort, and a bridge and a solo, then you got the chorus and the song ends. Now we try to do the same in Unleashed. Obviously it's death metal, but it's the same style of structures. And yeah, I gotta say that's exactly what we like the most, and I've never felt a reason to change that. So. Consistency, yeah, for sure. That's, well, I wouldn't say we haven't tried to change, because it's a strange word. You know, change just means that it means just development. Because without change, nothing happens, and if nothing happens, you're going to sound the exact same as we did in the '89 or '90 or '91, and I don't think anybody wants to do that. So, but then there is also this, you know, the consistency of trying to deliver something that has the same type of quality, the same memorable type of music, the same theme when it comes to the lyrics, and I think that if you want to be the same band and not go crazy on changes, then you have to do that. You have to have some kind of consistency. If you release a death metal album in '94 and then in '97 you're more of like a fusion melodic death metal style band, well, you're gonna change your audience too. You're gonna swap audience for something else, and that's never been our task. Plus, that's not what we like listening to ourselves. I mean, I grew up with listening to bands like Morbid Angel, Death, and Autopsy, and, you know, Obituary, and they didn't change by the wind, you know. So, and it's the same with heavy metal acts, like I said, Manowar, Judas Priest, and you know, Whitesnake or Iron Maiden, and they kind of kept to their style, and I appreciate that, and that's what we'd like to do as well. So yeah, that is consistency for you, but you have to develop. Obviously, you can't be like doing the exact same. That's not possible, and it's not something we would like either. But some kind of change that follows along with a good development for sure. Yeah. Well, what I would like future generations to think about when they look at the Unleashed catalog, let's say, from start to now, it's just a band that really gave 100%, both studio-wise and live. And I want them to think that we brought something from the Viking tradition into death metal, and hopefully they had some use of that, some usefulness of that. And I think that's at least that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring people some courage with our lyrics and with our music. And let's see in 20, 30 years from now. Greetings to Black Shadows Tattoos from Johnny and Unleashed.